I want to say my first exposure to your band was a song called I Feel Home. And home is such an elusive thing that once you find it and once you get it, it's such a cool feeling. And that song made me realize that it was the people in my life. And it has a very special meaning to me. So it's always cool to tell an artist that gave you a gift of theirs, that you carry it with you. So thank you for that. It's been more present in my life than you know.
Well, I mean, I appreciate, first of all, that you know that song.
I love it so
I mean,
much.
you are right on about the people part because it was written, with a buddy sitting on the trunk of the car in the driveway, and then he's gone 2 years after that, right?
Oh,
We lost him. And then I'm at the funeral for him, and they say, let's play the song I Feel Home. And I open my guitar case and my string is broken and the guitar is looking crazy and I don't ask prayer in the sense of give me this, right? Oh, hey, give me
right.
this right now. But it was like I did. I said, whoever's up there, you got to make this thing work. And it worked and the song went over and then the sadness of that song went away and it became joy and I would always remember him and the people that were there when we wrote it, just like you just said. So
Yeah.
like it's not about my house.
No, it's not at all. I carry it with me, whether let's say I post a picture with my group of friends, I'll put that song. Or when we were going through the fires in LA that people were losing so many things, I posted that song because it's just not walls. It's so much more than that. And like I said, it's elusive. So when you find something that makes you feel like you can rest easy in safety and love, that's what's important.
Oh, I can barely get through this conversation.
So thank you. 3 decades, that's a long time to be together. So I want to go back to something because in eighth grade, you covered Pearl Jam, which is my favorite band in the world. I've seen them 119 times. And you covered, isn't that wild? You covered Porch.
Yeah.
And I read that you had tried to copy them. Tell me I want to go back to that moment because you were kids, but also I want to talk about Pearl Jam with another band that I love.
I mean, Chris, we're sitting in my living room watching the Unplugged
Oh,
on every day after school, and Ed doing, the writing on his arm, his outfit to his mannerisms. I was obsessed with Ed Vedder, and I wanted to do exactly that. So our performance was pretty close to an eighth grader doing Ed Vedder.
yeah.
And fast forward in our lives, we've been running into on my wedding day. Nervously, I'm sitting in the outdoor lobby of my hotel where I'm about to get married, and I'm nervously sitting there, and I look to my right, and Stone Gossard is sitting next to me, and he says it's going to be okay. And this is your idols, and Pearl Jam unbeknownst to them, and McCready, same stuff. I've run into him, and it's like they don't know, hey, a good job, how far a good job goes. Ed Vedder made that recording and didn't realize he was going to set forth thousands of bands. We were
Yeah.
just one of those bands. So Pearl Jam, we don't exist without Pearl Jam, you know?
I named my daughter Evie. I just borrowed Eddie's
Oh,
initials.
that's
Oh,
that's
that's
genius.
Yeah.
awesome.
And they always show up. I took her to Ohana Fest and she was crying, and out of nowhere, Eddie Vedder walks up to her and he goes, "It's going to be all right." So I think they're not of this earth.
I
But
would agree with you because
yeah,
we've had some run-ins with them that have changed the course of our trajectory.
but you guys are such a grassroots band, meaning like you're not big on the bells and whistles and the marketing, and somehow or another, the word of mouth thing has and the love of your fans has kept you growing and growing and growing, and that's so special. So tell me about the eighth grade kids who turned out to be the gentleman I'm talking to now, and give me a little bit of what you look back on.
So much of what I look back on is like, the eighth grade thing kind of sums it up, but it's really like we were sitting in my mom's basement at band practice, surrounded by friends who would just want to hang out and watch us play. And this idea of having other friends who weren't even technically in the band just come and kind of jam with us. Mark was just recently referred to it as this collective. And I hadn't really thought of that word, and it makes so much sense because it's just the spirit of like hanging out with your friends, telling these stories about our family and friends, and writing music that makes us happy because we're so influenced by some of these favorite bands at an age when music is so important to you, when it starts becoming so important to you, I should say. Um, and then to really feel like, hey, we got to give this a shot, and taking it to the next level of committing to something that is, it's a music industry is not the easiest thing to get involved
No,
into. To be
it's not.
young kids and say, hey, we're gonna go for it. Looking back, I just think on how like the support we had as friends, the support we had from our family to do that allowed us to really come into our own, because we just felt so comfortable. We really did. And when we're comfortable around each other, the music happens. When we're having fun on stage, the audience connects with that. And then when we do that over and over again, create something that people feel like they're a part of, then they want to come back and see that again and again. And that's why I think it's 30 years of people growing up with us, and now they're bringing their kids to shows.
You know what else it is, though? I want to go back to something you just said about feeling comfortable with each other. It is very hard for people to reach a state where they feel comfortable being vulnerable. Because I think vulnerability is authenticity. And when you give that on stage, you create a community and you build a culture and you give that purpose. So, what do you guys do to stay connected and to make sure that you're yourselves with each other?
I don't think we afford ourselves the opportunity to fake it too much. We know our limits. We know each other so well. If there's a few weeks where somebody's off in the distance, we know to leave them out there. But there's a time and place when you just call their bluff. Let's talk about this thing and knock it out. It's always been that way. It's never comfortable, but we're just blessed with the ability to back up what we say we're going to do, do what we say we're going to do.
Your
And
music makes it, what I get from your music is that you're real, you're good guys. And I know I would stand by that actually. I would stand by that.
I appreciate it. And I just think everyone we have toured with from the beginning, we got taught by watching, just like kids watch they watch their parents, and like you can tell them all you want, don't touch that, but if your parents touching it, they're going to touch it. So Sheryl Crow right away showed us, hey, you can be on tour and be really cool and hang out with everybody and big up everyone who you're with and not compete. And that was it. And we were, oh, she's doing that. We're going to do that. Oh, Bon Jovi does that. Oh, we're going to do that. Like, we're going to do what they're doing the healthy way. And then we meet the party bands who party.
Oh,
And then with the ones that are like inclusive and you're coming in and no pressure. I mean, there was so much positive stuff in the music industry that we choose to highlight
yeah.
and enjoy and be unapologetic for. It's like, yeah, it's a hard business. It's dark and there's a lot of bad choices you can make. But if you maybe don't do that, there's a lot to celebrate too. Like I could go on a list of 50 artists that I respect and love because of they know how to have fun the right.
Yeah.
You know?
They have a good inner compass.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah.
They're
They have
sweet,
a good inner compass.
grateful. They're
So you have the nostalgia thing, which I think is really important these days because the world is so unfamiliar. So people are leaning towards nostalgia, but you're also guys that keep your eyes ahead. And right now you're moving ahead, which is what we're here to talk about. And I'm excited. Um, how do you keep who you are and move ahead? And what does moving forward mean to you?
yeah, we have a responsibility to release new music to each other because we like making new songs. And while we're all about nostalgia and celebrating the stuff we've done, we're making these records as the current journal of where we are. We always document the story of O.A.R. We're just continuing to do that. So if people want to join in that, that's awesome. Come along for the ride. It's new music. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of collaborations working with bands like 311 and Citizen Cope and G Love. And,
Yeah.
we're just very open to experience right now. I recorded a song with Wiz Khalifa that's going to come out later in the year. I mean, there's so much fun stuff happening that we just are going to do it And if you want to come along, do it. We've done enough already. We don't really have to do anything, so we're just having a good time, you know?
I'm really close to the 311 guys, and they have very great things to say about you.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'll
Yeah,
tell you, those dudes, like,
they do.
so nice to us.
Okay, wait, let's circle back to Wiz Khalifa. How does O.A.R join forces with the one and only Wiz Khalifa?
Yeah, I mean, look, we all have friends in this world, and I was at Howard Stern studios one day, and a gentleman comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, you remember when you met DJ Premier a couple years ago at a hockey game?" I said, "Yeah, yeah." He goes, "You guys should reconnect." I said, "Yeah, that sounds good." He goes, "All right, let's FaceTime him." And it was his manager, and he FaceTimes Primo. We start talking. He's like, "Come in for a session." I go into Queens. We make a record together. Uh, Ian is then like, "Hey, let's make a record with Wiz." So we put a record. We just start making records with people, and these are all in the can, and they're just working with your the people you think are just like, gosh, man, Wiz is just so from the future. I just love.
He's something else.
Yeah, so it's an honor to be considered trustworthy enough to just jump on tracks. I mean, people I think like O.A.R because we do what we say we're going to do. And like Primo will come to our shows in New York City and Chris is playing drums and Preem's just standing there looking at him for 2 hours straight. And then afterward, DJ Premier is going, "That's my favorite drummer." And if
Oh my God, that's insane.
to like 18-year-old me, my head would explode.
Yeah.
So that's it. Opportunities knock, you got to do it
So,
and
yeah.
people are nice enough to include us in what they're doing and we're going to just keep doing that, you know.
So we talked about other records. Let's talk about a new O.A.R record.
Yeah, so Kulos, he's got the information on the final hours of this thing.
Who wants to drop the info?
Ian, I know we're getting ready to put this album out with the tour. I know we're getting ready to release new music along the way. I know we got a lot of collabs. Mark already talked about the
Okay.
311, G Love and Cope, and maybe, maybe one or two other things that'll pop up. But it's I think my favorite part of this was that the industry has changed, technology has changed, all of these things have happened. But for us to just make this decision of let's get back in a room together and just make music.
It's as simple as that.
It really is.
It really
And
is.
you hear that and you feel that in it because it has this live band energy that I think people really love about O.A.R. That we're always looking for like a way to match that with the growth that we have had as songwriters and musicians. Mark's ability to tell a story and make it sound like it's so it can mean something to like so many different people when it's not specific like that, but yes, it feels like it was written for you or about this thing that you went
Yes.
through. It's unbelievable. And so to have this I think like that live band energy and then just this growth that we've had kind of coming together feels to me like front to back, this album is going to really be awesome to play live and then see where it takes on a life from there, which is something that's really important to O.A.R kind of DNA. We recorded Crazy Game of Poker. The second half of that song, Mark freestyled those lyrics in the studio when he was 16 years old. Came
That's
up with them
so
off the
cool.
top of his head. And here we are singing this and developing the song every night. You could use that as like the framework for so many other songs that we go, okay, we here's this song, but like let's let it take on a new life of its own if it really feels like it wants to tell that story. And that's for me, this album is just like the beginning. I think with other bands they feel like, okay, they put out the album, I'm on to the next thing and go do that. For us, we get to go kind of both. We get to like go on to like live with the new music, but this new album also becomes something that is like a lifelong work. It's really a work in progress.
It's a new era. I also think you guys are such great storytellers and you have a heartbeat. And today, with the technology and the AI, you need something that's guaranteed human, that makes you feel your own humanity too. And you fill the room with that, always have. So I think that's one of your gifts as well.
Thank you. That's so sick.
Do we have a name for the album?
Yes, I think the album is three tinted windows. I think that's
Okay.
the best way to describe what this thing is. It's, you're looking out the back of your car as you're leaving town for the very first time, and you only had enough money for to tint three of the windows because listen, we don't get it all when we're
Um,
young. Anyone who's cruising out of town in a brand new Infinity, it's like that's not going to happen, right? So I think the record is called Three Tinted Windows, looking at the 3 decades, but it's also looking back at it. And there's a whole lot of stuff ahead. We'll see what it is. I don't know. I mean, sitting in the studio right now, Chris is over there. He's going to go play drums for 5 hours after this thing hangs up because that's what he does. So it's like, who knows? Maybe the neighbors, maybe we get to play more shows. Maybe, who knows? We're always
well,
ready.
I'm glad you said that because there's a line in Three Tinted Windows, the song that I love that says, "I want to ride with you, I want to life with you. Let's watch this town grow small." That's a tattoo waiting to happen, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. I've
Or
already.
like or like wedding vows. I don't know, but it's beautiful and the concept is, and you're gonna play one of the most stunning venues in LA August 8th. You're gonna play the Greek Theater.
Man, this is
Man.
a huge celebration for this band. When we got to play it last year, I mean, we played it early in our career. We toyed with the idea, but we could never really go in there officially and do it. I mean, you really got to show up. Last year it showed up. This one's going to be on the next level. All of our families are coming. We're so excited for anyone we know within 200 miles is coming. We can't wait. This is a big one for us. So, yes, August 8th. Oh my
I
goodness.
will be there. I will be there as well, and I can't wait because that venue and you guys, you know how some venues are made for some bands? The like you belong at Red Rocks, you belong at the Greek Theater. So
Yeah.
I will see you August 8th. I'm stoked for the new album, whatever you end up calling it. And I truly do think that you guys are very special. And I can't wait to see the new chapter.
Cool. Thank you so much. This is
You're
so,
very welcome.
we'll see
Thank
you
you.
at the Greek.
We'll see you at the Greek.
All
Thank
right.
you again for doing this.
Got it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.